So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is a Mr. Media interview, broadcast and recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and American League Baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Actress Leah Thompson, perhaps best known for starring in the NBC sitcom Caroline in the City and the Back to the Future movies, will be guest host at Acme this week at Acme Comedy Theater, 135 North La Brea Avenue, Los Angeles. To promote her appearance on Acme, she is swallowing her pride and appearing on Mr. Media Interviews. Here's the Evelyn Wood version of Leah's career, courtesy of IMDb.com. Her first role was in the movie Jaws 3D as a water ski bunny. Although she couldn't swim or ski, which I understand she still can't, her next role was in All the Right Moves, where she acted opposite Tom Cruise. Leah's biggest known accomplishment and her big break came from the first Back to the Future movie, which I got to say I got a little confused by over time. Mother, girlfriend, mother, I don't know. Anyway, from 1995 to 99, Leah starred in the NBC TV sitcom Caroline in the City, the saga of a popular cartoonist with, of course, wacky friends. More recently, she starred in the Jane Doe mystery series on the Hallmark Channel, and I understand is in pre-production on 3 new movies for 2009, including Pretty Face, Rock Slide, and Splinterheads. Leah, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I understand that you are a busy woman.
I'm kind of busy, yeah. I think I am.
Do I have that right, that you've got 3 movies coming up this year?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And I have 4 movies coming out on DVD right now. One's Exit Speed, that's a new one. That's an action movie. I have the 2nd season of Caroline in the City. I have Back to the Future again, and Howard the Duck.
I saw, you know what? I looked and I saw that Howard the Duck was being re-released again. Well, I guess again is appropriate.
Well, it's the first time it's been on DVD, so.
You're kidding?
Yeah, yeah.
I just thought maybe it was being released in Blu-ray or something for the first time.
No, this is the first time they bothered to release. So I'll have a busy month.
I guess so. They're all coming out this month?
Mm-hmm. Well,
wow.
Yeah, March, I think. Yeah, March.
And this late, I mean, after, these things have been out for a while, does it do you personally any good in the bottom line that these are released now?
I'm not even sure. I mean, I'm not sure, but, it's nice because I can cut a better demo reel, although Howard the Duck is not in my demo reel. Call me crazy, but it's nice to have them in the new technology. Otherwise, you have to pay to convert them. So,
True.
Especially
True.
Caroline in the City, because my kids have never seen it. So, it's nice to have it.
Now, the first season was out already on DVD, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first season was last year. So yeah, so it's exciting. Whatever. It's fun to have something going on like that. But yes, I've been really busy. I've also been doing musicals. I did 2 musicals this fall, and a Christmas movie. And now I'm doing this sketch comedy and getting ready to direct a movie called The Swinging Sounds of Jack Amsterdam.
The Swinging Sound. Okay, let's start there. I'll skip what I was going to ask you about Howard the Duck. Tell me about the swinging. So the Swinging Sounds of Jack Amsterdam. Is that for TV? Is that theatrical?
Well, it's an independent movie, so we're not really sure where it's going to land. But it's like a little fable that encompasses kind of karaoke and jazz. So it's kind of like about a Jekyll and Hyde. A guy who's really bad who bumps his head and becomes a really good singer, and how that affects the people around him and the girl who likes him. She's not sure whether she likes the suave guy or the nerdy guy.
Are you in this movie?
I might put myself in it, but I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I haven't auditioned myself yet.
I said audition tape, so.
I haven't auditioned myself.
Well, have you cast the lead?
Yeah, Thomas Ian Nicholas. He's a young actor, best known for his American Pie movies.
Oh, okay.
He was in the first American Pie movies, but he's a really wonderful singer. So it was really hard to find someone that could sing this kind of jazz that also had real good comedy chops.
And I don't know. I could go pull up IMDb real quick, but have you directed before?
I do. Yeah, I directed some of the Jane Doe mysteries that I was in.
Oh, okay.
So they were, big. I had helicopters and all kinds of shooting and buildings and chase scenes, and so they were. I definitely pulled it off. So I'm not nervous about it. It's just a matter of getting the story right and getting a good crew to help.
Well, how did directing Jack Amsterdam come about?
I just found the script and met with the producers, and we're still struggling, because you get the money, then it falls apart. It's a bad time, so
right.
We're still struggling to, like all independent movies, get it going. But things are looking pretty good, so hopefully we'll start.
Women, I won't say what your age is, but women of a certain age find roles harder to find at a certain point. You've obviously been rather busy of late and have continued to be busy. Is directing, is that something just kind of to be familiar with because maybe there's a time where you transition out of acting, or it's just something you just wanted to do?
Well, I always wanted to do it, but I wanted my kids to be older because I've been lucky enough to be able to spend a lot of time with them and not be quite so focused on my career. And now they're older, and they don't need me so much, so I can take, because directing's kind of a 24-hour job while you're doing it. So
right.
I've had the luxury to come home and cook dinner and put them to bed, but now they're 14 and 17, and so I can do that. And it's really important to. I think the reason I've worked a lot. It's maybe not as high profile as the stuff I did in the 80s, but I've basically worked consistently. Is because I keep diversifying. I keep trying new things. I'll go to Broadway. I'll do a musical. I'll do comedy at the Acme. I'll do cable or do independent features. So I just keep trying to move. So I guess directing is. I didn't really think I was worthy till I kind of looked around and realized that the crews were all younger than me. So I thought, I can boss them around now. I'm a mother, and I can boss them around. So I feel like it's a natural progression, and I love working. I've always been a team player. I've never been kind of a you'll see me in the trailer kind of actor. I've always liked being part of the working action, being part of the crew. So I really love being a director because I get to be in the middle of all that action,
And I've never heard someone say, maybe I just don't get around in the right circles, but that being a mom would be good preparation for directing.
I think it is because, you have to deal with so many personalities and tempers and crisis, and you have to try to keep your cool and delegate and multitask. These are all really great qualities to have. And I've had to direct myself in the 2 movies that I directed. I was the star of. So that was kind of a drag. So that required 10 times the multitasking because I had to remember all the dialogue and act while trying to order 2 cameras around and, all that. So, anything after that will be easy as far as I'm concerned.
Now, do you have any, directors in the family that have, been able to help guide you with any of this? Or,
Yes. My husband is a director. And
really? I had no idea.
Yeah, I know. My husband's Howard Deutsch, and we've been married almost 20 years. So I met him on Some Kind of Wonderful. He cast me as a perfect girl. Funny how that happened.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah, and so yes, I see his struggles. I see how he does things. I do things a little bit differently, but I think that it's been really great for both of us because it gives us sympathy for the other. You know, when I'm working, I have a lot of sympathy for the director, and I think he has more sympathy for the actors because, you know, we see what the other one goes through. And, you know, he's amazing. I mean, he's a really amazing director. He's worked for a really long time, and he works really hard. I don't even know if I could work as hard as him.
Does it, and I actually pulled up Howard's IMDb page just to give some of his credits, working backwards, My Best Friend's Girl, The Whole 10 Yards, Gleason. Was that the one with Brad
Garrett, yeah.
Brad Garrett, yeah.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? The Replacement. I actually just saw that a few weeks ago.
I like that movie a lot.
That was good. That was the Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I think it was a good movie.
It was very good. I'd never seen it. I was homesick one day, and it came on. I thought, all right, I'll sit through this. And I was like, that was a lot better than I think, most people gave it credit for.
Yeah, that seems to be a little bit of a curse of my husband. That his movies, even Some Kind of Wonderful, was not a box office hit, but it's become like a classic. A lot of people really, really love that movie. Mm. There's three movies people always say to me, and first one, of course, is Back to the Future. Then it's Some Kind of Wonderful, and then it's Howard the Duck. Those are the movies everybody. Then it's Red Dawn. But, people love Some Kind of Wonderful, and they quote it all the time. And it's even in that movie right now. He's just not that into you. It's Some Kind of Wonderful's in that movie. So it's kind of a touchstone. So, yeah, his movies kind of, people fall in love with them kind of after they're released sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just to finish the list out, not to read everything, but Howard was also director of Pretty in Pink, mm-hmm. Molly Ringwald, and The Great Outdoors, which I think was John Candy.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So, what I was going to ask you, though, is, so you have this husband who's a director and who obviously was directing when you met. Usually an actor and actress, you don't really have that kind of insight and close-up access to what goes on 24 hours with a director, and I wondered if that's been if that has helped encourage you to feel comfortable to be able to direct, because you know so much more than the average actor or actress might, having such access.
I think so. I think so. There's not as much mystery about it because, I know what he does and how he does it, and I do things in some ways the same way he does, which is to hire really great people and let them do their jobs, not try to, overmanage people who are really good and don't need to be overmanaged, and relying on other people a lot for their point of view, where, so he's a good manager, so I've learned from him about that, because you really are managing a whole idea, and which the movie is. So I have learned a lot, and also just the mystery of it's not so much, because everybody wants to be a director, but I think a lot of people don't really have any idea what it is. I think they don't realize how much of it is nuts and bolts, and how much of it is give and take, because you don't get your own way most of the time. It's a lot about mm-hmm. adaptation and being flexible and figuring out a way to work something out, Mm-hmm. When you say, I have to have my own way, some people, I think directing is getting your own way all the time, and maybe there's a few of them that do, but not for long.
Now, I want to come back to your theater work. I'm sorry, your film and potentially television work, but I know that you're here to promote your appearance at the Acme Comedy Theater in L.A. this Saturday, tomorrow, February 28th, 8 p.m. How did you happen to get involved in this?
I don't know. I don't know. When people ask me to do things, I shouldn't say this, but when people ask me, to try something new, within the realm of work, I usually want to try it because I think everything is every new experience just helps you, So I did What's My Line there, and then they asked me to do this, I think maybe a year and a half ago, and I just was busy all the time until I saw this little window and this week, and I thought it looked really scary, so I should try it. But I've been really impressed with the writers and all the actors who are in it, write their own sketches, and I've been really impressed with their talent. They're so great, and it's really great that they have a website where you can see their movies, because even if you're not there, even if you're not in LA and, you can't come see the shows, you can go to their website and see all these wonderful, clever actors in their little short films, and they're quite lovely. And we made 2 of them this week that are pretty funny, so they'll be up on the website.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's www.acmecomedy, solid, acmecomedy.com, for anybody who wants to go check that out after we're done talking to Leah.
Exactly.
Exactly. So what kind of sketches are you going to be in? Now, I understood Thomas Calabro, who had been in Melrose Place, was on with us last week, and I was kind of surprised. I thought they were kidding me, but apparently not. One of the women from the cast was talking about that she was doing something somewhat topless last week, and apparently that was true. So I'm very curious to know what they've got you doing this week.
I was there. I saw that they were definitely topless. I am not topless. What do I do? A lot of accents. So I mean, I have a volleyball, and so I'm going to do that. And then I have a Southern girl, and I'm going to do her. She's real public access TV girl. And then I'm going to do a hooker from New York who's like really disgusting at like a financial seminar. And then I'm going to do myself doing dirty nursery rhymes. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to do a mid-Atlantic kind of old movie star overacting type of person. So I'm going to do a lot of different accents and a lot of different costumes. I was just trying to make all my costumes. I have 7 different costumes I have to find in my closet. It's kind of fun. It's like playing dress up and like just play. It's really fun.
I love the way you move from one accent to the other, to the other, to the other. That's great. That was very entertaining. I would come see the show just for that. Do you have a line that you're doing that maybe you can tell us a line from the show, maybe out of context? You don't even have to explain it, but one that just kind of.
Oh, wow, now my mind goes blank. Of course, it's the dirty ones that come to my mind.
Oh, well, that's okay. You can give me those on the show.
I can do one? All right.
Sure, absolutely.
Hold on. Sorry we're late and all that shit. Scoot the fuck over. Ain't you never seen a lady before? How's that?
That was great. Yeah, see, you're going to love internet radio. That's great. There's a question. There's a live web chat that always accompanies the Mr. Media show, and there's a question from the web chat that says the new American Idol judge, Kara DioGuardi, wrote the theme for a Lifetime series that you did. Is that right? Something to say?
Me? What was it for the people? She wrote it?
That's what I'm seeing here. Something to say. Was that?
Something to say? No, I didn't do that. I don't know. Is that a Lifetime series? I did a Lifetime series called For the People. She could have written the theme for it. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
I can barely remember what I had for breakfast, much less who wrote the theme for.
Well, I got it. Since you brought up Howard the Duck, I wasn't sure that I was going to, but you brought it up. So something I want to ask you about that. Do you think it would have helped that movie if the costume for the duck, if the duck had looked different? I always thought that was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, it probably just shouldn't have been made at that time, and it just. Well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
The technology wasn't right for it, and it probably would have been really great if it was an animated duck, like they did Roger Rabbit, and I think it would have been great. And this is, I think even Zemeckis told me this because he did Roger Rabbit later, and I was talking to him about this other thing that happened, which was they had puppeteers like moving his mouth and doing the lines, so it was kind of like a comedy killer because they weren't the best actors. And so when I was talking to Zemeckis about Roger Rabbit, I was talking to him about that, and I said it would be really important to have. We were talking about how important it would be to have the real actors there, like good, funny comedians. So they got Charles Fleischer to sit there the whole time they did Roger Rabbit. So it kind of like invigorated the scenes, you know. It was really hard. You'd be acting and you'd go, "Say, sweetie, how's about a kiss?" You know, and you were like, 7 months of that was just brutal. So it was kind of like a comedy murder every single day. So it was also a really weird movie. I mean, I was like, holding duck condoms. I mean, it really wasn't a kid's movie. It was kind of like a weird movie. I mean, really, I am. I like pull. It's an odd movie.
Yeah.
And so it would have been better to be kind of more of a small, independent, because the comics are hilarious. The actual comics it was taken from are really funny, but they're very adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I grew up reading those comics, and I was going to say that people forget how incredibly successful the comic was, and it's just I think you're absolutely right. It was unfortunate when they made the movie; it was just too soon to do it, and of course nobody's going to go back to it now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when you took that, it had the potential to be a very big hot thing.
Well, yeah, it was George Lucas. It was a big. Yeah. I don't even know how much they spent on it, but at the time it was a lot. It was probably $30 million, but at the time it was a very big budget movie, and everybody wanted that part. Everybody wanted to be the voice of the duck. I mean, and it was my opinion, and I said to them when I could tell that it wasn't working, I was like, why don't you just let someone come in, improv, and then cut the movie, cut around the duck's mouth and get it, pick it up, make it funnier, make it dirtier, because they had a Robin Williams, I remember Jay Leno came up to look at them. Everybody, Steve Martin, I think, was there. Like, everybody wanted, to do the voice of the duck. And they were just like, I don't know, they just didn't see that they needed help, they needed someone to improv over stuff. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. Gosh,
fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's flash forward because we're going to run out of time. I want to ask you about the movies that you're working on now. One of them is called Rock Slide, and you've got some interesting co-stars in that movie, I understand.
Yeah, to be totally honest with you, yes. I just worked on that for one day. As is almost all those people you're going to say so I don't even know what that movie's like. It was just like a really good friend of mine said, "Do you want to come down and play?" And I said, "Okay," and I came down like this, like. So I think it's kind of a crazy movie, kind of a. I think it's kind of a takeoff on a strange religion that believes that Martians control people, kind of like Scientology. I think that's basically the theme. So we'll find, I don't know if it'll ever actually get out.
You mean there's people who don't believe that's true? I'm
sorry.
Please.
I'm sorry. We shouldn't talk about religion right now.
You're killing me here.
Sorry, dude.
And anything you want to mention about Pretty Face or Splinterheads? And great titles, if nothing else.
Splinterheads I made this summer, and it's actually I'm going to go to the Krakow. I'm not joking. Film festival to promote it. It's also at the South by Southwest in Austin. It's a very, very cute movie, and it's just like a sweet kind of comedy, and I think that probably will find its way to the theaters or festivals, because it already is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's cute.
in Pretty Face?
Pretty Face is in pre-production, and I don't know. I don't know if that one's gonna quite happen yet.
All right. And then before you go, I want to ask you if there'll be any more Jane Doe.
I don't think so. I think there was something with the rights. I had a good time making them. I'd like to do it, but they were making all these mystery movies, and they kind of dropped all the deals to save money, and so they're all kind of kaputs. So, unfortunately, I did 9 of them. I really enjoyed them, and they play them incessantly, so you can still see them.
Well, that's great. And I know you're looking forward to, again, we want to mention, Leah Thompson going to be at Acme Comedy Theater Saturday. That's tomorrow, February 28th. Show starts at 8 p.m. You can order tickets online, www.acmecomedy.com, and be doing a lot of accents, keeping her clothes on. She's got teenagers. I can certainly understand. But, you know, and of course, I got to mention, real fans of Leah's will want to order the first and now the second season of Caroline in the City, now available on DVD, or, of course, the Back to the Future trilogy, which you can order on Amazon.com or MrMedia.com. And, Leah, it was delightful to talk to you. You know, it was a pleasure. I've enjoyed your work for a long time, and I hope maybe, you know, we have something else going on. I want to invite you back on the show anytime.
Thank you so much. You're really a pleasure as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good time tomorrow night.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was fun. Of course, for more celebrity interviews, you can come to the Mr. Media site, mrmedia.com. You can listen to my earlier interviews with the stars of Curb Your Enthusiasm, Worst Week, Chuck, Top Chef, and many more. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, Pointer Online, Digital Journal, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Folio, Mediafly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencast, or iTunes. And, of course, with iTunes, if you subscribe, you'll never miss an episode of Mr. Media. Also, you can follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your time to spend it with us.